What's good, everybody? Today we're going to be going car shopping, but more specifically, I'm going to go over a few things with you about buying a car that should be beneficial to your mindset in going into buying a car, and give you some tools and resources you can use to try to be in a better position when you're going to get a car, so that you can go and get a car that you might actually want. Basically, I'm going to go over giving you a tool that you can use that you can help rate shop before you go to the dealership, to make sure that you already have locked in your financing, you know what your interest rate is, you know what your down payment might be, so that you'll already be good to go in that regard. And this is going to be useful because it's better to have your lending locked in before you go to the dealership in almost all cases, because it's going to give you some negotiating power versus you going to the dealership and having them to go to the back office and talk about how the deal is going to work best for them as well, before they come out and present you the options that they say they have available to you, that of course also is going to benefit them as well, and in some instances not benefit you that much but still get you a car. Another thing that we're going to go over is showing you how the different credit scores affect your interest rate and affect how much it costs you to actually get a car, or really so that you can see how much extra you're coming out of pocket just to have a car with bad credit versus good credit. And then after that, I'm going to tell you a few things that you can do to actually try to get your credit to a better place, so that when you go into the dealership, you'll be armed with the best credit score, which is really what's going to get you the best deal. But again, this isn't going to be mostly about negotiating with the dealership. This is about giving you something that you can use to get your funding, possibly be armed a little bit better when you go to the dealership, show you how much it's going to cost you to get this vehicle with bad credit if you do have bad credit, and show you how much you could save if you get your credit better, and to tell you how you can get your credit better. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Will Frazier, your credit and business expert, and I bring you tips on how to improve your credit, as well as different business strategies and business funding options. Now, if you like to hear information like that, of course, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified anytime I put out a new video just like this one. Now, to get started, when you're trying to get a car, I just want you to be thinking about this as well. You really want to make sure that you're not getting more car note than you need, because when you get an extremely high car note just to get the car that you want, it can basically mess up other areas of your finances. Now, you can see here really quickly in this article from NerdWallet that 50% of your needs should be for housing, food, and transportation. 30% of your monthly budget should be for your wants like entertainment, travel, and non-essential things. And 20% of your budget for your monthly income should be going to your savings to pay off credit cards and meet long-term financial goals. And your monthly payment for your auto loan is not a need. It's not a need. Of course, you do need to have a car in most cities where you don't have a lot of public transportation, and most people are going to want to have a car for whatever the reason may be. Most people don't not have a car, and if you don't have a car, then more than likely you're trying to get yourself a car. But you want to make sure that you are not breaking the bank just to get yourself a car, or especially that car that you want that might cost you a whole lot of extra money. So you should be budgeting wisely when it comes to the amount of car that you're trying to get. Now, they say here that many financial experts recommend keeping total car costs below 15 to 20% of your take-home pay. So if you make about $3,000 a month, your car payment should be around $300, keeping that in mind. But when you're looking at that 15% that they were mentioning right here, you should look at it like this. Your car payment may be about 10% of your take-home pay, but plan on having 5% of that be your car expenses. So 15%, look at 10 of that being your car note, and 5% being other expenses like your insurance that you have to have for the car, which most people overlook when they're buying the car, gas and repairs and maintenance, parking, stuff like that, that also go into things that involve your car. So keep all of those things in mind when you're car shopping. Now, when you're trying to get the best deal on a car, one thing that you want to keep in mind, well, there are different ways that people want to look at in regards to getting the lowest monthly payment. And that's usually going to be shopping around for auto loans, lowering your expectations on the type of car that you'll actually be able to get if you want something super fancy. But ultimately, over here on Experience site, the number one thing that they tell you to do is to bump up your credit score. Of course, they deal with credit scores, so why wouldn't they say that? But really, the major thing that affects what your car note is going to be is really your credit score. And the best thing that you can do is bump up your credit score if you're trying to get a lower monthly car payment and a lower down payment, because your credit score really does affect that. Now, right here, they say a credit score below 600 might mean an interest rate of around 11%. But honestly, what I've seen people get under 600, it can be around 15%, 20%. I've even seen people have interest rates around 25%, which makes a big difference. And we'll see that in just a moment when I go over a few examples on different car payments and different types of cars and the different credit scores and how they determine how much money extra you'll be paying every month. Now, when it comes to that shopping around for auto loans, I said I will give you guys a tool, and one of those tools that I found is Super Money. They're pretty good. You can see here, you can find your best auto loan offer from competing lenders, loans up to 100,000, rates starting at 1.90%. So that's really good as far as the rate, the lowest rate that they have available that they can find for you. And as far as the $100,000, most people are not going to need to pay $100,000 unless you're trying to get like an Escalade or something like that, or something else on the higher end. That's good that they go all the way up there, and you can check your rate without affecting your credit score with them. Now, Super Money does a really good job of comparing different lenders in different spaces. They do business loans, they do student loan refinance, they do personal loans, so they cover a whole lot of different things. But right now we're just talking about the auto loans. You can apply online in just a few seconds. You'll get to see different lenders that they work with, and you can see the best offer, the terms, the rates, and different comparisons on them. And then you can get your money and you can go, into the dealership armed with the ability to possibly negotiate, because you already know what your terms are and you don't have to worry about them trying to give you the deal that works best for them. And this works for auto loans, for purchases, and for refinances. So if you do have your credit to a better place now in your car shopping, and you're not car shopping, but basically you just want to lower the interest rate on your current car, they do auto loan refinancing too, and they have options that you can actually compare. So just to give you a quick example right here, we got auto loans reviews and comparisons. You can see here they have different lenders listed, and what you can do, you can look right here and see that they have different people that did reviews, whether they recommend a company or whether they don't recommend a company. You can see this company's credit score range that they accept. You can see the loan amounts that they do, the APR rates that they have. There goes that 1.90%, and you can see the loan terms that they have as far as how long that you have to pay it. They don't late fees, no prepayment fee. You can see this type of information on each of these, and when you get your personalized rate by filling in your information, then of course they'll be going off of your credit score with a soft pull and see what your best options are. And again, as I mentioned here, you can see they do the loan refinancing for auto loans, and you can compare here with the different options that they have as well. And I'm going to put links to the auto loan purchase and the auto loan refinance with Super Money, so you can do the comparisons down in the description, so you can go ahead and check that out, and in the first comment. But now let's go ahead and let's take a look at a few different vehicles that are out there. We're using the CarMax site because they do a really good job, really simple and easy to compare the cars, and especially the rates that you get charged based on your credit score. Now, one thing that we're going to go with is, depending on what the car is, more than likely you're going to have a 10% down payment. It could be different than that, but we're just going to go with a standard of 10% down payment based on the total sales amount. So we see here, I know some of you guys might have a family, you might need a bigger vehicle, something like this, and basically this is 2015 Suburban. Now this one is one with high miles, so if you just wanted an older car just to get you around, these cars usually do have good quality in regards to how long they last, because if you see these vehicles, they still cost a good amount even in their older years. So you can see this is 2015 and it's almost 10 years old and it's still about $30,000. But anyway, I can't argue the value of a car. I know some of you guys might disagree based on if you've had one and you had problems with the car or not, but we're going to go down here to the rates and we're going to see what we're looking at. So down here with good credit, 740 score to 799 score. So we can see here we have an interest rate of about 3.2% all the way to 6.5% at that credit score, which is a phenomenally good credit score to have right there. And this car is $30,000. Usually with the better the credit score, the lower the down payment that you would need, but we're just gonna put in that 10% here. So instead of doing the 10% here, we're just gonna keep it at $2,000, because usually with the good credit score, again, you're gonna probably have more flexibility and you might be able to get extremely low down payment or actually no down payment with a good credit score like this. So we're gonna leave the $2,000 as is, just to say that you're just choosing to put down $2,000 because you have that option. Right now, we're looking at about a $514 payment on a $31,000 car, and that's not too bad for a Suburban and something like that. So we're gonna see now how much would it cost you if you had just fair credit going in the door. $580, $699. A lot of people are in that range. So now instead of $514, which is where I believe it was, now we're up to $646. So that's increased pretty significantly. That's $130 almost. So you're paying the extra $130 because of where your credit score is. And now we're gonna go with that 10%, which would have been about 3,000, I think 3,100 maybe. And we're just gonna put that, and that lowered it a little bit, like a few bucks. So basically you saved a little bit of money with that extra down payment, but because of your credit score being where it is, you are still paying more than $100 extra. Now, I don't know about you, but an extra $100 could go to a whole lot of different things, versus me paying it on a car note and me paying an extra $1,000 in down payment that I could have used for something else that I probably wanted. So again, this is bad credit costing you. And now if we go to even lower score than that, we're looking at a 580 score here. Now that maximum payment goes up to about $793, and that's at about 25% interest rate. So that can go very high depending on how bad your credit score is. And again, there are different things that affect your credit score that can get it that low. And there's a certain type of credit score used for auto loans. I'll discuss that once we get through these examples of the cars. But all of that is very important to take into account when you're thinking about what your credit score is going to be and how much it's going to cost you. Now, we just went from $514 to almost $800. So that's like a $300 difference just because of your credit score. And more than likely, you are probably going to be paying more than just that 10%. It could be closer to 20% that you might have to put down on a car like this. And if it was to double up like that to 20%, of course, you're looking at about $6,000 at that point. So you can see it can really get costly when you're trying to get a car with worse credit. Now, they did lower the payment some here, so that is good, but it's still about $200 more that you're paying every month, and you had to come out all of this extra money up front just to get the car. Now let's go ahead and check out this example. Let's say you want something a little bit nicer, a little bit newer. We got the Yukon Denali here, 2019, still not all the way new, but still a lot newer than the other car, lower miles than the other car had, and we're looking at about $62,000 for this car right here. Now, when we go down and look at the rates with, exceptional credit, you're looking, and we still put the 2,000 down, you're looking at 3.2% interest rate, 6.5% interest rate is the range, and the payment on this is anywhere from $932 to about $1,025, as to be expected with a car that's worth this much. And now this is with exceptional credit. Now, if we go back down to just somebody with fair credit, and hold on, let me see that amount again so I can remember it, $1,050 with exceptional credit. Now, with just fair credit, we're looking at an increase of about $300 more that you have to pay every month on this already relatively, expensive car note. Before, with the car at the lower amount, it did take a really worser credit score to try to get up to $300 difference. And now, of course, again, you're gonna have to increase that down payment amount. So on this one, with the fair credit, you might be looking at about $6,000 down because of the amount of the car, a little bit more than that. So if we go to challenge credit under the 480, now you're up there. It's almost $600 difference. Like, it's $550 difference right there. Now, I don't know about you, but there's other things that you could possibly be doing with that $500. You could be saving it, you could be paying down debt. If you had, some people have the cash and they would just go ahead and just throw that money out there because they have the cash, even though their credit score might not be where it is, versus putting that money into getting your credit to a better place, and you don't have to pay this extra money every month. And then if it did go to 20% down payment, let's say on this type of vehicle, then at that point you're looking at $12,000 down, and then you're looking at about $1,400 a month, but that's still $400 extra every month, and you had to come out of pocket all this extra money up front. Now, think about the money that you can save should you work on your credit. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and check out this car. Maybe you want some Fast and Furious and all of that good stuff. So you're looking at something like a 2020 Charger Scatback right here, and we got 31,000 miles, $46,000 car right here. On something like this, if that's what you're looking for. If you have exceptional credit, $2,000 down that you're choosing to put down, it's about a $688 payment monthly, or a $756 payment every month. Interest rate, again, 3.2 to 6.5. That's a expected payment for this type of vehicle. But now that's with exceptional credit. Let's say you going in with fair credit, and then that payment jumps up. Hold on, let me check what it was again. $773 fair credit. We go to $973 max. So that's a $200 increase every month that you have to pay because your credit isn't as good as it could have been. And of course, again, let's go bump up that down payment amount there. We're gonna go, that's about $4,500 right there. So now you have to pay $4,500 for the down payment, and you're paying about $200 extra a month. Okay, let's see if we had challenge credit on this one. So now it's almost $1,200 versus $920. So again, that's about a $300 increase that you're paying every month. And then at that lower amount as far as your credit score, now let's say you at the 20%, that's about $7,000 that you have to pay right there for a down payment. Your payment still increases monthly as well. So that's a lot of extra money that you come out of pocket when you're trying to get a car without first trying to do something about your credit. And again, that is why they said here that the number one thing you should do is bump up your credit score, because it determines your interest rate, which also determines your monthly payment, and it can significantly affect what your down payment is going to be, because the worse your credit is, and also the age of the car can go into this factor as well. But the worse your credit is, the less that the lender will want to cover as far as the percentage that they cover of the car. So that means that they're going to increase the down payment amount, because they want to know that you have skin in the game and know that you aren't going to be a person that defaults on this car, because the more you come out of pocket, that's an investment that you're also losing should they come and take this car back. Now, I said I was going to tell you what you can do to try to improve on your credit score. One thing that you want to keep in mind is whatever your FICO score is. So if you go pull your credit score right now, you want to pull a FICO score and see what that FICO score is. When you pull the FICO score, it's going to give you a number, which is going to be called your base FICO score. Now, this is you going to the MyFICO website or using your credit monitoring like MyScoreIQ, which I use myself and for my customers, and it will tell you what your FICO credit score is in a certain version of FICO. Now, the most commonly used one right now is about FICO 8 or FICO 9. But anyway, when you pull your score that way, you're going to see your base FICO score. When you try to go get a car, they alter that credit score either up or down based on your car history. So this is anytime you're trying to get a car loan. Now, because they are altering your credit score based on your car history, if you have had repos in the past, that is going to dramatically lower your FICO 8 auto credit score. If you've had late payments on a car currently or in the past, that's going to dramatically lower your FICO 8 or FICO 9 auto credit score, which is what all auto lenders are going to be using. So again, your history on your credit report, not only just your general credit history, which can be negative, can affect you, it can worsen the effects if you have negative history on a car or something like that. And when it comes to working on your credit, I don't know if you've tried to work on it yourself or not before, but trying to deal with repos and charge-offs and late payments, they can be very challenging items to deal with unless you really know what you're doing. But I want you to know that if you're trying to get a car, the main things that you want to work on everything first off, but you definitely want to make sure that you're seeing progress with any type of auto issues that you've had in the past on your credit report. So that's going to be your target. That's going to be what you're going to focus on. But if you only deal with the car history and you also have other things like collections and stuff like that, it can still hold you down and cause you to have high interest rates and high deposits like we saw. So you want to get started with things without doing the online disputing on Credit Karma and on the bureau's websites, because they limit the options that you have to dispute when you do that. Everything you want to do, if you're going to dispute something, you want to do it by paper, and you want to mail that in. Now, I do have a video where I go over what to put in a dispute letter if you're trying to make a dispute with the credit bureaus or whoever it may be. And I'll send you to that video after I'm done with this video. Now, there are various different things that you can challenge on a credit report and various different ways of dealing with the issues on your credit report. But I'm going to tell you now that saying that you paid on time as agreed, or saying that the account isn't yours, isn't going to be the things that's going to help you to deal with these issues that are on your credit report and possibly get them taken off your credit. And again, I go over to more of the other resources you can use in that video I'm going to send you to. Now, there are different pieces of account information on each account that you can actually dispute, and you can look at and compare the different credit bureaus. So you want to have a copy of your credit report pulled up. You want to look at the different bureaus, see if there are any discrepancies in information between one bureau and the next. X. And if there are, those are some simple things that you can do to challenge the information that might actually help you out, because 100% of the information on your credit report has to be accurate, and accurate doesn't mean that it's yours. Accurate actually means that the information reported is correct. And by law, if the information isn't correct and they can't update it, then they need to take it off of your credit. That's the law. That's not just me talking. So you want to go through your report, find discrepancies like that on the accounts that might be affecting you the most, send paper disputes on that, and then wait for your results. And of course, you can't just give up if they come back and say that it was verified. You have to keep going and keep being persistent, because sometimes they might be obvious errors that they don't correct that they actually need to correct. And there are also other tools and other resources that you can use while disputing, but this video is already pretty long, so I won't go into detail or in depth on them right here. But I do have various other videos that can help you out with that information. Not to mention I have a lot of free tools that you can download on the channel as well. Now, if you need more in-depth help than just that, then I'm going to post a link to my course down in the description. It's the Quick and Effective Disputing Boost course, and basically you can find it down in the description. And actually, I have that course on sale for the next few days. So as a thank you for sticking around to the end of the video, if you go ahead down to the description and check out that link, you can actually get it for the sale price while it is on sale just for the next few days. And you can get more in-depth information on how to quickly and easily come up with disputes and know what to do and say for whatever time frame you might end up disputing these accounts, and so that you can know what to do even if something comes back verified. Again, a link to that will be down in the description, and also the link to Super Money, so you can try to see about getting a comparison on the different rates that are out there at different companies before you go into the dealership. So please make sure you check that out and take advantage of that opportunity. It's a soft pull, so it won't actually hurt your credit. Not to mention you can just go on the site and just compare different places that are out there as well. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, make sure you hit a thumbs up on this video. If somebody else could use this information, make sure you send this video to them. Subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified anytime I put out a new video like this, and I'll see you guys next time.